Good Sunday morning, everybody. I think it's bright, ain't it? It's blocking out one of my eyeballs. Hang on, let's see here what we can do. Tone that down just a little bit there, man. Alright. Let's rock and roll here. Alright, so, what do we have? So, I don't think I've posted too many numbers recently. I've been slacking on the job because I've been driving on the job. I've been driving more miles doing this than I did with Schneider. But here we're going to open up Trucking Pro and we're going to look at some reports real quick, and then I'm going to just run my mouth, okay? So, and I'm going to run this from like start to now, which is like 4 weeks, right? 15 was when I got there, so I'm actually going to do Tuesday through Monday as Schneider's protocol does, because as I said before, that's what I'm going to keep running, because I mean Friday loads end up getting paid out Monday, so, and that'll finish out a weekend, etc. If you didn't catch that other video, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you should go back and look at it. I don't know. None of them are that exciting. So let me make sure. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, and this is an incomplete week. So I got 4 and a partial week in there, but I'm not going to worry about partial. All right. So July 14th. Some of these I made no money. So, because of the way bills fell and everything, let me just do this first. 14 through 20, profit loss. Gross was 1520. My expenses were exorbitant, but they had the plates, they had the windshield, and they had all kinds of stuff, so no profit, but whatever. You got to take the good with the bad. That's what this business is about. The good thing is there's freight out here, and it's not a dead market right now, so that helps. I mean, if this was slow time, I wouldn't even done this. Hopefully it'll carry on at least until the normal time, although, my average revenue per mile that week was $1.31. I will tell you that on 1,159 miles, because I didn't drive, and I think that actually includes that might include some of my trip up there, it might not, I don't know if I put that. I know I put it in one of my spreads, and I don't know how far in there I went. Alright, so that was that week. First week was $1.30. Second week, it's a decent program. I just hate having to open it up my computer every time, like I said before. Show me the report. Second week revenue, and this is after 20% comes out. So you got to look at that too. Now, if I add to figure out what you would actually gross if you ran the way I run, you would have to add 25%. So, because to get from 80% to 100%, you add 25% to make 100, right? Because 25% of 80 is 20, right? And the same goes for if you work for Schneider and you're making 65%. You want to see what you would make if you were making 85%. You don't add 15%. It is 15% more, but it's not, because the way the numbers fall, you actually have to add like 24.377 or something like that. I don't know. And to get to 100%, you have to not add 35%. You actually have to add almost 50%, because 65 and 35. So 50% of 65 is 32.5. So you have to add more than 50%. You have to add like 53 or some odd percent like that. So, but you're never going to get what your actual number in the spot market is going to be off of a contract freight setting, because they're two completely different beasts. I told my wife the other day, I said, doing this here, and I know I'm off topic right now for my numbers, but doing this here, learning to do this, because I don't know what I'm doing, man, help me. I got a little bit of help, so I'm learning it, and I'm getting there. Doing this here, I told her, I said, doing this is like trying to play basketball with a football. Sometimes you'll get that bounce right, but sometimes it's just not going where you want it to go. And then getting it in the goal, holy cow. Imagine that. Anyway, so revenue for the second week, 721 through 727, 1940 on 1460 miles. And if I added 25%, it would be almost, almost 2,500. It was like 23, 24, right around there. Because 25%, at 25%, right? This program does not show me the pre 80% numbers. I do punch them in, but it automatically takes it out, so that's one number less in the equation for the thing. That's another reason I don't really like this program. I'd like to teach the world, shut up, to see how idiotic they all sound. Hey, so third week, July 28th through August 3rd, was 3,008 on the revenue on 1,929 miles. Average revenue was $1.56 a mile. And my expenses were still high. I also had the tires and the alignment and so on. And you got to take out your employee pay. So there's that as well. There's all kinds of expenses you need to put in there. Fuel, escrow, lease, payroll. It's actually, no, I'm sorry. It was $3,216 because this thing took the lumper pay out. I didn't take that back out. And this was the week that I did the front end check, clutch check, the brakes check. So, just to be on the safe side, right? All right, so the 4th through the 10th, $55.60 was the total revenue. As you can see, I'm slowly climbing. As I did with Schneider when I was learning those ropes, although that one took me longer to, I don't know if it took me longer or not. I mean, because I looked at it on a quarterly basis as to what I went up, and I'll end up doing that on this one too. I'll see how much improvement I've done every quarter. Although in the spot market, I don't know. I think it might be best just to look at it on a day rate more than a per mile rate. Getting per mile is nice, but you got all that fluctuation in this market. So $55.60 on 3,000 miles. Oh my God, that was insane. An insane amount of mileage. Hang on here. That week was actually $55.60. 25% is $13.90. Added to that is $69.50. So you got to consider. Well, let me do. All I got is this last week, and this is probably the last load I am taking this week. So, and this week isn't as high. I mean, there's going to be flukes like that. Like I got that load. That was a good load coming down from Arkansas to Florida. And here I am again. I said I wasn't coming back to this hot, wonderful state. And here I am back in Florida. This time I'm in Lakeland. I told my wife, I said, I'm no longer going to Florida unless I go just to the border. I'll go to Jacksonville or something like that. And here I am about 130 miles from Jacksonville further in. So this week was $28.60 on presumably 2,079 miles. So my rate per mile went down on that. But overall, I mean, still learning on this stuff, so I think I did pretty good so far. And if you take, here we go, let's see, 15 through tomorrow, because I did an estimate on the mileage, right? And there's some deadhead in there. My deadhead, excuse me. Let me do some. All right, so look at it this way. You know, I mean, there's many ways you can look at this. All right, and I've watched my numbers, and they're slowly climbing. Right. I don't know when they'll even out. I don't know if I'll hit the high average. Hang on a minute here. Maybe my coffee's done and it's roasting hot. And I need my drink. I had no coffee this morning. So what I got, that doesn't even look like coffee. So I ran out of coffee, and I got this daggum. I don't want to do that. It looks like tea. I might have to put more coffee in here next time I do this. It's definitely going to taste good. That looks like water, man. I am not pleased with this. I ran out of coffee, so I had some 8 o'clock coffee that I keep as reserve just in case. I haven't used this yet. I was buying dark coffee, and I got, hang on. I'm getting sidetracked, ain't I? Talk about that in a minute, man. My coffee's important. So it's hot water, man. John. Anyway, so my gross over those 5 weeks is 14,888. That's my gross. That's not the gross. The actual gross was 17,865.6 at about $1.86 a mile, which if you take off 20% is about $1.50 a mile. So at about the same that I was when I first started running with Schneider. I was right at $1.53 to $1.57 for the first quarter. So there's that to look at. There's also, $1.55 per mile. My expenses are crazy right now, but they're coming down fast because, you know, it's that drop percentage that you look for, right? Because I looked at it yesterday, or the day before yesterday. No, it was yesterday. I looked at it, and originally they were like 30 cents. The tires and the alignment, I had just looked at one item. It was like 30 cents a mile, 40 cents a mile. And it was way up there. It was more than that. And it had dropped like 20 or 30 cents a mile on the number that I ran. So over the period of time. So that's another thing. Many things to look at. I mean, the tires that were on here originally, I crunched the numbers on the mileage that I had on here when I took the steers off and put these on, and how many miles were actually on the tires from the previous owner and what I put on there, and it ended up being less than a penny a mile. So on $1,000 worth of tires, you're paying less than a penny a mile. That's actually pretty good, right? So I plan on making these last. I have wait back up, don't go nowhere. Anyway, now I see this is why I can't get off track to get back on track and then get off track again, because I lost my track. I mean, the other rail that I was going down, that I told you, hold on, let me jump back on this rail, is now disappeared. So I don't remember what I was talking about on that rail. I had to go back and look at it. But on a good note, so let me show y'all something. Check this out. Accidentally turn my camera on. Now I gotta boost this thing here. That's a monitor, right? So I got this partially wired in, and my cameras. How do you aim this? My cameras, and that is
my CB holder. Unfortunately, I had to put my CB over there, so I gotta redo that later on. But you know, I'm gonna have one mounted over there, one mounted right here. Right now, I got it sitting right here because, you know, I don't have, talk to the hand, I can't find my Velcro, so I gotta run in there and do something about that, get some Velcro, or actually I'm gonna probably screw it in there, that way it doesn't fall off. The only problem I got is that side over there with the, on the passenger side, it's got that old crap handle, and it, I need a bigger Torx screwdriver to take it out so I can screw that in there. So I'm probably going to Velcro that and maybe glue it. I don't know. It's not going to matter. It's my truck, so, and I won't be turning it back in. So that's my camera story. I got it all wired in there. The DVR is plugged in. It was recording. It works really well. It's 16:56. The time is still correct. I had, and I need to send these people another email. I had an app that I currently use. I had them send me a request to do a review on their app, and I can't do it. Because if I'm going to give you a review in your app, I'm going to be 100% honest in it. And right now, the app sucks. You got, it has, let me get rid of this so I can quit trying to kill my battery. Maybe I'll remember something later, but it has what looks like useful tools in it, but I can't physically use this because it's non-workable, right? So it comes as, I originally got it because one of the brokers uses it as a tracking app. So I was like, okay, whatever, you know, they track you, they want to know where you are and where their load is. I don't have a problem with that. What time is it? 8 o'clock. Okay. I don't have a problem with that. So I downloaded it and used it to track me, right? And now, go away. It's got me in the right location. So they're like, I got an email from this lady, and she said, do a review on our app. And I'm like, okay. And I looked at it, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. If you watch this video, your app doesn't work. I'm going to send you an email. So it's got a lot of things on there. It's like loads, tracking, message board, routing and fuel optimizer, axle weight calculator, which makes absolutely no sense. Okay. It wants you to put in your steer weight. It wants you to put in your drive and trailer weight, and then it wants you to put in your trailer weight as far as tandems and axles, and then it tells you what, I think it tells you what you're supposed to weigh empty. I'm not really sure. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you? Yeah, it's good to know how much you weigh empty, but you need to know what your weight is on each of those and where you need to slide your tandems and so on. It's got a thing called permits and IFTA. I don't even know what that is. I didn't look that up. Magazine, account settings, tutorial. I guess I should look through the tutorial and see if that will answer any of my questions. But, oh yeah, permits and IFTA is like, it's let the top companies compete to provide you the best services. So if I go to anybody for permits and IFTA, I'll go to JJ Keller because they're really easy. I've worked with them before. Yeah, so if you got a load that's tracking on you, you can go to loads, but say, go back, where you at? Say I go to my, and this is the whole, hello, touchscreen. It doesn't want to work. Man, this water is really ticking me off. I need to get my coffee fixed. Where is it? Okay, so if you get to where you're being tracked, I tried to punch a route in, right? Because there's a spot on the map where it says route, and I hit route, and it says where you want to go. So I punched in an address and it says not found. I punched in a city and state, not found, or not, route not available, or some stupid comment like that. And I'm like, this thing won't even map a route for me. And when you hit route on, it completely disappeared now. When you hit route on the app, if you're being tracked, it gives you directions to go to there. Go to there. Okay, you have to go into the actual person that's tracking you, and then you hit route. Oh, it says route not found whenever it does that. If any of y'all recognize this, I don't use this, okay, but it does give you this cost per gallon and all that nonsense, okay? And then it gives you directions. Direction. Hey, what y'all doing down there? It gives you directions. It doesn't route you that way. Okay, yeah, it technically does, but directions. Okay, if I hit route, maybe you should, like, tell me how to get there. You know, vocal, oral, coming out your mouth thing. Okay? Estimated time, 8.5 hours. 617 miles, 1850 maybe. Average cost per gallon, $2.35. So it thinks I'm gonna spend, I guess it has IFTA on there too, $34 in taxes, $205 in fuel. So 617 miles for me is $130 or so in fuel, I think. So anyway, so yeah, this thing sucks. I don't know. I need to contact these people because to me it's worthless. I actually got this load off a 123 load board. So funny story, I had posted my truck on DAT, whatever you want to call it, DAT load board, that one right there. I posted my truck on DAT, and I got a call on the way to my delivery, which was supposedly up to a 5-hour unload. And why I keep torturing myself when I need to wet my whistle. So supposedly like anywhere from 3 to 5 hour unload. I was going to get there early. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to sit around and wait to get there on time. I'm going to get there early. I get anywhere early. I get everywhere I go, I'm early unless I'm late. No, cha-ching! Loads! There's loads! So I got there a few hours early, and I checked in, and they said, go park over there. We'll call you when we're ready for you. The yard jerky will let you know what door to get in. So within an hour, I think, I don't know, they're like, yeah, go pull in that door over there, door number 5. Dig it. Still ahead of my schedule. Still don't know how long it's going to take. So I pull in a door, and they took forever. I actually was there probably about 5 hours, but it worked out perfect because I was there till like an hour and a half after my scheduled time. I think I was there 5 hours. I don't even know. I didn't count the time because I was like, whatever, who cares? But on the way up there, this gentleman called me from one of the broker services and says, so I got this load going to Ohio on Friday, and it pays $1,500. It's 44,037 pounds, or 67, something like that. And I had put 44K in there because I don't like going much over that. And he says, is that gonna break your bank on that? He said, can you do that? I was like, I told him, I said, yeah, I put 44 in there because I don't like going very far over that. So, but yeah, I could probably do it. So, what time's the pickup? What time's the delivery? And what's the commodity? So he says, Pickup is all day. It's a 24-hour pickup. And delivery is at 4:30. Oh, it's at 4:30 p.m. on Monday. And I'm like, really, dude? If I'm going to sit over the weekend, which is what my plan was, I would much rather have an early morning delivery. So he's like, well, we'll see what we can do. He's like, and we had a little chat, and we talked a little while, and then he got back with me because he's like, well, let me call you back, see if they can reschedule this. And he finally got back in touch with me. It took him about 10-15 minutes for the guy to respond. And he said they have 3 delivery times. They have 4:30 a.m., 12:30, and 4:30 p.m. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay, all right. So I told him, I said, you know what? I'm 10 minutes from my drop. Let me pull in there, and I'll call you right back. And he was cool about it. Otherwise, I would have been like, give me the load. So he was cool about it. So I had negotiated up by 150. I had like 1650 in it. No, 1750. Might have been 1750. I had negotiated up. So, because I told him, I was like, hey, will you do it for this much? He's like, yeah. Oh, my God, man. He said, we'll do it for 1650 or 1750. Whatever I had it on. I think it was 1750. So, yeah, that's what it was. So, I said, okay, cool. Let me call you right back. So I get there, and right as I parked, he calls me up. He's like, yeah, my boss says he's got somebody else that wants this load. He's like, you still want it? I said, you know what? I said, it doesn't matter if I get a reset or not, because either way, I'm going to work it out. So yeah, I'll take the load. Because I was looking, and there was nothing that was paying. They were paying close to it. So I was like, whatever, I'll take it. And I get done with my load, and I go and park like 20 miles away, 25 miles away, and I go to, he had asked me, he's like, well, what time you gonna pick it up? What time you want to be there? I said, well, I don't know how long this unload's going to take, and this might cause problems with my 10-hour off, and so on and so on. So you know what? Let me get 9 o'clock in the morning. And it was IP. I hate IP, but it's a necessary evil, right? So all of their plants are rough roads because all the log trucks, and they just don't fix anything. But real nice people there. I got there at 8 o'clock. They checked me in. And they're like, well, go down there and go around, go to the back of the building, yada, yada, yada. So I go down there and go around, go to the back of the building. And I went to the trailer sweep out section, which I didn't really need because the guys swept my trailer out. Apparently they spilled some rice. There's still rice in the back of my truck. Mice got married. So I was back there sweeping my trailer out, and the broker called me. I didn't know because my phone was in my truck, because I don't usually carry my phone with me unless I'm talking to the wife to sweep out my trailer, especially when it's hot. I don't want to tote this earpiece around on my ear. I hardly ever wear this thing. So I go around to the loading area, and I still hadn't checked missed calls or anything like that. I wasn't paying attention to that. I was looking for my load info. So I went inside and talked to the dude, and he said, you know, this load isn't due out till tomorrow at 9 a.m. And I'm like, really? Okay. So I look at my phone and see missed call, and then there's an email from the broker. And I'm like, oh, great. So I called him up. I was like, dude, this is Thor. What's going on, man? He said, yeah, that load canceled. I was like, yeah, I know. I was in the trailer sweep out when you called me, and I just checked in at the office. He's like, well, you still want it? I said, I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll stay on it. I'll stay on it, I think. So I got off the phone and I checked the board, and there was this load going to the sinful state of Florida. And I called that dude back within minutes and said, look, dude, I don't want the load. I don't want the load. I mean, I've had bad experiences at IP. That's why I don't like IP. And I have issues with them most of the time I go there. It's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. So I was like, you know what? Let me try a different way. Let me take that other load. So I grabbed this load. I'm not happy about it now. Lakeland, Florida. Good old Florida. I don't know. I'm not happy about Florida at all. I should have went to Ohio. But TONU AD50 got an extra $2.50 off of the run, so I guess that'll make up for the lost mileage. And I did 50 miles less on this run than I would have on the other run. So, but when they called to get me that load, this load, it was 9 o'clock when I called the dude. I said, dude. He said, are you empty? I said, dude, I'm empty now, but I'm all the way in Eastover. So, and your load is all the way up there in North Carolina. It's at 105 miles, so I'm like, I'm about 2 hours away. He's like, all right, let me call somebody. Yep, we can do it. Cool. I didn't even bargain with this dude because I knew I was going to be late. So I was like, okay. And that's another thing. Could I bargain with him? Yeah, probably. But I mean, he had this thing jacked way up already. It's right at $3 a mile. So I'll take it. I got to quit doing that. I really got to quit doing that and trying to bargain. But, you know. And then he said, he sent me to Raycon. I punched in and it said 3 hours. It was 150 miles away. 154. It's all highway except for the one stretch I had to get from IP to the highway. Man. Aggravation. Anyway, so I told him, I was like, yeah, you know what? This thing says 3 hours. All right, hang on a minute. He called him back again. Yeah, they'll work you in. Go ahead. And I got up there. I got right in the door. So, you know. Man, this video is longer than 17 minutes because the other one I cut off. Anyway, I'm over here running my mouth about junk. That's more ridiculousness. So, and I could talk forever because that's what I do. I got to do something about this coffee though. I think I'm going to run another batch. Put like 8 scoops in here instead of 4. It doesn't even taste like, it's hazelnut flavor. It doesn't even taste like hazelnut water. It just tastes like hot water. That's what happens when you get used to drinking dark black coffee. And I still got some of that Starbucks in here. I'll throw some of that in there with it to make it darker. Maybe. I don't know, people. Coffee. Another necessary evil. So, but hey, y'all have a blessed Sunday. I'm going to be watching my church in a little while. And like I said, if you're the person that wants me to review this app, get in touch with me before I get in touch with you. So, I'll send your goodie bag back if you want it. You know what I mean? I ain't got nothing else, man. I still need to do, and I decided I'm not going to fix the springs or nothing on the front of this truck. I'm not going to raise that up. I figured if I could do $1,000 just on the leaf springs, that'd be fine, but there's more stuff entailed in it, so I'm not going to do all that. Not going to do all that. Turn it off. Okay. I'll show some APU settings later on. I had to play with my APU because it was kind of stupid, but I'll show that later on. Anyway, y'all have a blessed day.